Get up and go, no matter the road.
Hello there, welcome to another episode of our podcast, Cut the Cotton Culture and Female Genital Mutilation Now. And on today's episode, we're going to be marking the International Day of Zero Tolerance for Female Genital Mutilation. And today, I'm not going to be alone. I have with me a very special guest. She is Mrs. Bose Ironsi. She's the Executive Director of Women's Rights and Health Project, also called WHRAP. Now, she's one of the leading women rights activists in Nigeria. So you're welcome. Thank you. Thank you so much for joining us on our podcast. Now, you talk about women's rights, you're passionate about women's rights, and most specifically, because of what we're talking about today, female genital mutilation. Can we look into what led you down this path? Was there something specific that happened that opened your eyes to the fact that, hey, we need to do something?
Some years ago, as a practicing registered nurse in a teaching hospital here in Lagos, I came across a woman who had a cardiac problem, and the doctor had said that she shouldn't have children. She shouldn't have children again. She has had 8 girls, and they were planning to do, the family planning for her. But the husband said no, that he wanted a male child. So that sex selection thing got me thinking that, are you saying the girls are not ready? They are not children? And of course, again, within the community where I grew up from, I also realized that there were a lot of segregation, there were a lot of discrimination against the girl child. So that made me to say, no, there's need to give voices to women. So, and also as a personal experience, I grew up in the midst of all the boys. Why is the society discriminating against women or the girl child? So this is what is making me, or making sure that I am always, fighting for the right of the girl child.
But why female genital mutilation?
So female genital mutilation. So I am very close to my mom. She was circumcised when she was small. And in my culture, where I'm coming from, Edo State, there is this whole belief system that says if you are not circumcised, you are a disgrace to the family. That means you are not woman enough. You don't have, that means you are not a virgin. And all that. And I know medically that's not true. There's no medical relationship between virginity and female circumcision. There is no reason for it at all. And then in my course for the past 30 years, I've been, in the social development, I'm working for the rights of women. And one of the things I discovered was the fact that even within marriages, you see that women don't enjoy their sexuality, and nobody ever relates that to the circumcision. So, and I keep imagining, what kind of discrimination is that? So there are a lot of cultural practice around female genital mutilation that is not for the benefit of the girl child or for the woman. It's a belief system that has no place in terms of human dignity. So because of that, that's why I'm very passionate about female genital mutilation. For example, if you circumcise a woman, there's no relationship between that and circumcising the boy child. The boy child is circumcised for a medical reason, to avoid infection, to open up for him to be able to express his pleasure during having relationship, right? But whereas the girl is trying to prevent her from having her own pleasure during sex. So for me, that is a discrimination, and that is unacceptable.
Yeah, because in previous episodes we had talked with professionals such as yourself, those who are actually actively on the field, doing the work, creating awareness and enlightenment. And one of the things that we touched on was the fact that this idea of female genital mutilation is patriarchal. It panders to the whims of the men in the society.
It's actually about power and control. It's about to subdue the women. You have no right to enjoy sex. You have no right to to your to for your body integrity. I own you, so I can determine how far you can go.
Yeah.
But you see, there is a lot undercover around it. They don't tell you that it is. They tell you, oh, if you don't do it, you will die. The baby on your head will be responsible. If you touch the baby, this is what happens to you. And the cruel way with which it is being carried out, and a lot of injuries being done to women in the process.
Yeah.
It's so sad. And whereas theirs is so clean, neat, and it is allowed. So my concern is, why should that happen to a human being? The people that need circumcisions are the men, not the women. The women don't need circumcision. Yeah.
So one of the things that we agree on is that you're one of the leading women's rights activists, right? And that's in Nigeria. So that means your work goes beyond a particular sport, a particular region. Your work is national. So from a national level, which areas of the country actually experiences this FGM more?
Okay, so I want to say that female genital mutilation is happening everywhere in Nigeria.
Every region?
Every region in Nigeria. But you probably will say in the southeast, in the southwest, okay, and maybe south, and also in the north as well. So, but you see, over time, a lot of sensitization. UNICEF and UNFPA have done a lot in terms of sensitizing people about that. There are a lot of youths involved against FGM. It's a global phenomenon. So, but you see, there are people who are willing to change this culture. There are some who are now going underground to get it done. Now, they are even becoming more scientific in doing it. Now, medical personnel are involved in doing it. So they just say, we are going there. They do it early enough. Okay? And then you heard today, there are other ways now that people are doing it. They are using hot water to massage the clitoris of the girl child.
What's the idea behind that?
The idea is,
that was also...
yes, the idea is to prevent her, for it to be sensitive to her.
Okay, so this is when a female baby has been born. During the process of taking care of the baby, you massage the genitals.
Yes,
with hot water. Wow.
Is to make sure that that place is no longer sensitive. It's just like in the process of doing that, they actually create a lot of injuries to that, and so there's scar, and so the woman, the girl child will not be sensitive. That's the whole essence. So okay, we cannot cut it, we cannot remove it. Okay, let's make sure that place is not active. That's what it's all about.
The beautiful thing about this kind of sensitization and enlightenment that we do is that we are opening people's minds to the fact that a woman's challenge goes beyond basically just having a child or getting married. It goes also towards what the culture exposes her to and how it affects her holistically.
So I want to say that the greatest problem with the female child or the girl child is actually about her environment.
Culture.
One, how is she perceived? For the very beginning, congratulations, is a girl child. It's enough. She has committed a crime for being a girl child. Not all. There are some homes that are willing to accept the girl child. But beyond that, okay, let's look at the process of socialization. The girl child is socialized in a different form. Whether the male child is socialized in a different form. Let's look at the game of football. Football for me is like, developing your leadership skills. How to organize, know when to move, know when to give to the other person, know when to score, know when to retreat, as an individual. That's a skill in terms of leadership. The girls are not exposed to that. They are just asked to remain in a kind of how can I put it? A situation where they constantly do what they're supposed to do. You sweep the house, you clean the house, and you are ready for that. Whereas the girl, if before now, until people are beginning to speak out and allow it. The girl child is the last person who know how to drive a car or how to on the generator. So, and that's, for me, it's a serious discrimination. How can you have a population globally of 49.9 population in the world, and you are socializing them to think differently, to behave differently? And it goes beyond just the house chairs. It goes beyond even in representation, in the public participation, in governance. In so many ways, they are reduced to a level. They don't see us as so important enough to occupy position. There are cases people will say, I cannot take control. I cannot take order from the woman. So for me, anything you see that's being acted out in different forms and direction is actually that fear of the unknown. The fear of, if you allow them, they will take more than this. If you allow them. But I know that when a woman is empowered, either at home, in the community enjoys more. They benefit more. So I hope they will know that when you empower a woman,
you as a man,
you will benefit more. I'll give you an example. You will discover that I had a case. This lady was working in a very beautiful company and she was transferred to Australia. The husband said, no, she's not going. I paid your bride price, you must know. And so she sat down. Along the line, now when they were in that, when the woman was working, she was taking a lot of responsibility of the house. So not quite 2 years, the man had a stroke of stress of trying to run the home, by himself. And the woman lost her job because promotion would mean that she go to, international office. And so what she did was to resign and started doing some casual work. And now, when it was obvious that the man had stroke and he couldn't do work much, so the stress in the family, school fees, house rent, and everything became very horrible. And so, again, she was able to find her way back to the office. And this time around, they still transferred her that she's stable. And they went to the man and said, my husband, I've been transferred to go to this country. Say, when are you going?
Okay, so now he was.
So now he understood what it is to have empowered that woman. Because if she would be in, she will have all the benefits, he will have the whole family will benefit. Then another crazy thing about this whole idea of fear of empowering women is the fact that the woman in the first instance is even bearing your name. You can't separate women and their children. So if she ends up paying school fees, ends up paying rent, ends up buying a car, ends up, these children are still going to be. So what's the fear? There's no reason for fear. And I don't think any man should limit every other man, any other person on earth. So why would you limit that child? Just because she's different. And the only thing that is different between the man and the woman are only biological differences. Every other thing are all man-made. Like I used to tell people, let's assume I have twins. I'm going to deliver twins. The only way you can know the difference between this child and this other child is their sexes. There's no way you can know whether one, the very day you see one is going to be a doctor and the other one is going to be a commercial sex worker. There's no way. It's only by their sex you say, oh no, this one is a boy or this is a girl. And they grow up and then we are trying to say, no, hey, don't go. Relax. The girls don't do that. Yeah. You must cross your leg. You must not don't speak. Then at the end of the day, the girl goes to a place and she's not speaking. You are saying, you are too quiet.
Why are you so quiet?
And then you have also made the boy to be, this is who I am, and all that. And he's bullying everybody. You're saying, yes. The girl. So here we are.
I think this also would apply to, because you're a registered medical personnel, so you're able to address this a little more authoritatively.
Yes.
A lot of women are undergoing mental health breakdowns, depression and suicidal thoughts, traumatic stress disorder. Would you say that female genital mutilation has a role to play in that?
You saw, you had a survivor sharing her experience. Even after several years, she had overcome. She still grieved them.
thinks about it.
She was in tears, if you didn't notice. The reason being that trauma, until you heal, until you come out of it, or you're able to manage it, it will still be there. I also share an experience where a couple came to me. They were not enjoying their life sexually. Okay? And the man was like, come, this thing has to end. Okay? And you know that in this our society, it's only in the cities you discuss about this issue. It is covered. You must not talk about it. They rather go and pray, God, let God change the behavior of this man. Whereas he's not getting, both of them are not in the good,
They're not
aligned to what they should enjoy as couple. So this lady, they came to me, and the lady told me, excuse me, man, I don't even know whether the man exists. That the only time she ever felt that little bit of pleasure was when the doctor was trying to examine her when she was going to have a baby. And since after that, there's nothing she has had. So they came to me and I started, we went through the process of saying, okay, how do we stimulate her to even get satisfied? Not the man now. The man was concerned that my wife will just be there saying, when you are done, please let me know. And so, how do we know? People are screaming. There are a lot of divorce in the family. There are a lot of women. What is that? People are refusing to talk about their sexuality because we were not socialized to talk about it.
I think it's a case of, for those who are Christians, in the Bible, there's a quote that says, those who live by the sword die by the sword. So you are pushing the culture that, in retrospect, is actually killing you as a man. But you still refuse to accept that the culture is dealing with you.
Yes, they don't accept. They don't accept. It's just like somebody who is lazy, he's not working, he's sleeping, and he said it's the home trouble. Which home trouble? Have you gone out to go and start something and see whether resources will not come? So we're always blaming the other person for what we cannot do. And that's usually the case.
Okay, so right now we're going to go on a short break and we'll be right back.
That pretty smile, but she's ready to battle, gonna take that enemy down. She fears no evil and holding her ground. She is a warrior, ain't nothing gonna slow her down.
Alright then, so welcome back. This is still Cut the Cutting Culture and Female Genital Mutilation Now podcast. And with me here, we still have Mrs Bose Ironsi, who is the Executive Director of Women's Rights and Health Project. Now, before the break, we've been talking about different aspects of female genital mutilation, talking about her experiences, what led her into this particular fight. And now we want to look at it from another angle, right? So we're going to go back to you now, Mrs Ironsi. Let's look at the support that you've got. You're very actively involved in pushing this message around the country. Now, where would you say you've gotten the most support? Is it from the state government, from the local government, from the law enforcement agencies? Who have been your greatest allies in this fight?
So my greatest ally has been the NGOs themselves, the civil society, who are partners in making sure that this whole discrimination is put on. That's one. Two, we also get support from governments for enacting laws. There are laws in the community in some states, but there is also a WHRAP law that was put in place in 2015. So, yes, so that's where one of the problems that's there. And even when now they are aware, you want to report cases of this nature to
the
police or to leaders, they will tell you it's their fault. But that's not, for me, the greatest challenge I have is the police, because that's where you must incident your cases. Are the police aware that female genital mutilation is a crime? So that's where most of even the one that they are aware that it's a crime. What is the outcome? So I think that we need to work more, making sure that people are penalized. We need to go down to the community people who still have this mental set that female genital mutilation is to the gain for the woman. Okay? So we need to keep educating them, the traditional rulers, even the medical, the health workers, the community nurses who are going out in the various communities to go and interact with these women, who take deliveries at various communities, the traditional birth attendants and all that. We need to interact with them to know, for them to understand the implication of carrying out FGM.
The practice.
Yes.
So based on all we have shared today, it is safe to say that you're not stopping your advocacy anytime soon.
No, I'm not. I've just started.
You're just
I can't until every woman enjoy her bodily integrity.
The fight must continue.
It will. I'm mentoring a lot for it to continue.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Your work is highly appreciated. Thank you for the value you add to the community. End female genital mutilation, cut the cutting culture. Thank you so much. My name is Chris Oziofu-Ero, and I'll see you next time. Bye.